I also want to say some announcements. You would have seen that I didn't get the notice out this week as early as I usually do. And I think people have been aware that I've been having email problems for a while. So I decided to go into the 21st century, and we have a new email list, which means, though, for you, how it impacts you is you have to opt in yourself. So if you're already on my email list, you're on that list unless there's an error. If you don't get emails from me every week about this call, then you need to opt in. And once we get going, I'll put that opt-in link in the chat, or you can message me to get it. So, David, I will make you host.
Great.
And you can share your screen, and then I'll introduce you when you're ready.
Hey, fantastic. I'm ready.
Perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sharon Whiteman. It's a great pleasure for me to partner with Diana and Gary and all of you, each and every one of you in our lovely Mannatech family, to bring this event every Saturday. None of us can do this without each other, so we thank you for your support. We're very excited to have David back. He's spoken to us a couple times previously, and he very generously jumped up and put his hand up when we had a schedule change with our previous speaker. Bob Adden does want to come and speak to us. He's the I think he's the general manager of Mannatech Inc. in the US, and he will come at some point, but thank you, David, for jumping in. We're in very good hands. So if you haven't had the blessing to hear from David previously, David has been with Mannatech for 18 years, with the majority of his Mannatech career being as a commission research supervisor. That's really good for this topic today. Currently, David works in sales as a sales development manager and has been supporting the field with Mannatech's flight team program and other sales initiatives. He's married to Zoe Tennyson-Wood, the Mannatech creative director, and they've just recently welcomed their first child. I think this bio is probably about a year old. So how old is your child now, David?
He's a year and a half.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
I get to see him on Facebook, so that's always a blessing for us to stay connected that way globally. 2.5 years ago, or 3.5 years ago now, Al Bala asked David to become his project manager for the new compensation plan design project. He got to work with the consultants, key field leaders, team, and of course, Al Bala and Kevin Robbins. He wrote the business rules, used the program, the new plan used for us, and he has most recently been on the road and conference calls and supporting the launch of our new plan, and also the new business development enhancements that we're all enjoying and that have newly been launched in Australia. So today our topic is about successfully and consistently tracking your progress. You need to, I'm not really a numbers girl, I'm a people person, but I've learned that you need to look at the numbers and help your team with the numbers. So that's what David's going to be focused on. We did have some questions come in, and I know he'll weave that into his presentation. If you have further questions as we go along, just put it into the chat box. So if you're new, at the bottom of your screen, there will be a chat box and you can just ask questions there. So David, thank you so very much. I'll turn my camera off, but I'll be here in case anything goes wrong if you need me.
Thank you, Sharon. You're very nice. I appreciate it. Welcome to everyone from Dallas, Flower Mound, Texas. Everyone is excited about what's happening with Australia. Kevin Robbins came back as pumped as I've ever seen him, and Al Bala was just on pins and needles about what we feel is a breakthrough for you, your teams, and for the business. So that's great. We applaud you. You know, Australia's been here a good while, and we're grateful for the people that have stuck with us and show their strength in longevity and endurance. So thank you, and it's great to be with you. You know, Mannatech has several types of flavors. I've met a bunch of different types of people here at Mannatech. One thing they all have in common is a heart for people. But I gotta say, you need the Al Balas and the Kevin Robbins and the pizzazz and the ADD that some of these great field speakers have. But there's also another side that we have to try and balance with, and that's the facts and the numbers and the keeping track of details. So that's kind of where I fit in, and today is about trying to be helpful. I really have the intention that what I share is not just about the numbers, but actually where to go find something quickly and easily so that you don't have to hunt and pick and look around and hope you found the right information. In fact, what I think I can do is take us out of our head so that we don't get analysis by paralysis. Well, I can give you the basics and the main things in about 5 reports. And once you have those down, I can tell you, you'll be a master at what you need to do. And so that's kind of what this is about. Interestingly enough, before we get into Success Tracker, I got a couple of requests from corporate office. Sharon had passed on kindly to me the corporate request to show, once again, the order flow, if you will, or the process flow in how to create an auto order. That came up several times, and we want to make sure that everybody is feeling warm and comfortable. So I've added that to this. Also, the idea came up, how do I change my auto order, or how do I change an auto order for someone in my downline? So I've covered that in these slides as well. Once we get through these, and it won't take us a moment, once we get through that, then I'll hit the heart of this message this morning for you guys, this evening for me, about how to use the Success Tracker to help me in the best possible way so that I'm not wasting time getting into analytics, and I can actually find this something that makes my job easier. That's what this is for. Success Tracker is there to help you. It can be intimidating, but we don't need it to be. And so hopefully after today, you'll feel a little ease. You'll be put at ease as we go through some of these important principles. Okay? So without further ado, let's kind of get into this today. If I want to create an auto order, I start by going to mannatech.com and of course select my country, which Australia or New Zealand is appropriate here. I log in with my account number and password, and I click on the shopping aspect, that little bar at the top. I'll show that with a red highlight here. Once you choose shopping, a drop-down menu populates, and there in the center of the 3 items you see automatic order, and that's what we're talking about here. So first, we've got to get the date right. This is important. When we are selecting our generation date, it means that it's going to generate this date every month. So obviously, if I took a picture on of February and chose the 28th, that means it's going to generate the 28th, and subsequently in March and April and May and June, etc., it's also going to continue on the 28th. So it's a set it and forget it kind of thing. And now that Mannatech's on the monthly schedule, as we came up with in the new plan, that makes it convenient. We don't have to scratch our heads and now when is the 4th day? And what we could have had certain situations where you could have a generation on the first day of a month and on the last day of a month, and so you got 2 payments in the same calendar month. All of that has been removed, and that headache has been removed. So set the first generation date and then click continue. We are choosing, making sure that we've got our country correct and our continue button selected. And then as we go through this menu-driven process, we begin to add. So now it's time to shop. Everybody loves this part. So we're going to add products to our cart. And when you have completed your shopping cart, we're going to go to the review part. But here you see on the screen a picture of a couple of Amber Toast items. And that's generally how I hear from associates. They like to look at this view. And then once they choose their quantity, you see one is the selection, they add the review cart button. But when we're reviewing, sometimes things come up and we have to remove or we have to change the quantity or whatever. So here's how we would go about doing that. There's an apply changes button, that little blue button above proceed to checkout. And that little button is our friend. So as we make changes and update our shopping cart, once we've got it like we like it, we need to hit this apply changes button so that we don't lose our work. Okay? Now we're going to add some more. Here's an example of this. You see the message that your shopping cart has been updated there in yellow. And you have one last chance, once it's been updated, to click continue shopping, which is that gray button, and you can add more items, or we are happy with our set and we go to proceed to checkout. The menu drive continues. Just want to show that in the Express Shop, we have the Continue Shopping Express Shop Visibility tab. That Visibility tab there in gray allows us to look at things the way we're most comfortable. A lot of people like the big flashy icons with pictures of the products that we're about to purchase. Other people will click that button, which is a toggle back and forth, to get an alphabetical list where it's just straightforward A to B in line after line after line. I know exactly where I go and I click that list. So whether you use the grid view or the bullet point icon view is up to your preference, but this is where in the Express Shop we make our view available. Now we're back to more review. This is our making sure we're getting where we want to go perspective. We add to the cart as required and we click on review cart there up at the top right when we are completely done. If everything's as we need it, that review cart button is where we want to go. And then it pulls up what the order will be. It gives details including subtotal and your PPV for that order. So in this case, we see it's over 450, and that lets me know that I'm good. So I can proceed to checkout with this button at the bottom right, and now it shows my shipping address. I can click the radio button for change address if I have an alternative place that I want to do. But there's a pull-down menu that once we get our address set that comes into play, and that's for shipping method. So here is the most popular view shown, the free ground. This is a case where someone's purchased over 100. That free ground is the popular shipping method. All right, as is normal, we're going to continue with checkout. Now it's interpayment time, straightforward as you authorize what's about to be purchased, and then you continue with checkout. Review order one final time. It shows you everything about this that you're going to need to know, the most important details. If you're happy and it's all good, we're going to check the place order button at the bottom right. All right. So that's all well and good. I've placed my automatic order. I know how to do that. Once you've done it once or twice, this becomes like breathing. It's pretty straightforward. But the Australian office asked me to also show how do I change it once it's generated. All right, so this is where we're going to spend a little bit of time together, where I'm going to show you just quickly a few screenshots that should take us through the menu of how to change an automatic order. And in addition to that, it'll come up in our conversation how I can manage my downline's automatic orders. So that's very handy if someone is wanting to take care of some orders for a family member or someone in their downline that may be technically challenged. These things make it so easy. So let's talk about that now. Obviously, log in just as we've done in the Create Automatic Order section. The My Orders tab is your buddy here, and that's the one we want to select. And under the My Orders options, the first on the bottom left is called Automatic Order. All right. Click on the Order Details detail, and you can pull up and get an automatic order to modify or change, or what we would like to say, edit. So I would like to edit this, and therefore I'm going to choose Edit Order. All right. Next step. Automatic order screen continues as menu driven, as Mannatech's website works, and we have the option to change and update. We can cancel the change. We have complete control, and this is where we would go to get that control set. we're here in the bottom left, you see how we add or change products. So it's all there at the touch of a button. Now it's time to do quantity. So the quantity is simple. I can add to, take from, or remove from cart, or add to cart as required. The quantity button, when I have selected an item, has on either side a plus or minus, and that's one way you can change the number of items that are being selected. You can also highlight and type the number that you would prefer. However you want to get there is up to you. We make it available to do it in multiple ways so that it's convenient and intuitive. All right, so here we have the Add to Cart button at the bottom right. I'm going to show the Remove from Cart button. So you see how editing your order is very simple. Once we've done that, then we can empty cart. That's another option. So I can add to, remove, or empty, and then start all over. So you have complete control over this automatic order template. You can change it. Again, you can even cancel an automatic order and set a new generation date. So as long as it's within the calendar month, you're good to go. Now there is the rule about you can't have more than one generation in a month, but within normal circumstances, that wouldn't be a request anyway. So here we go. Let's update. As you review what you've changed and you're satisfied with your product selection, you scroll down, and these parts are very important. You have the next generation date, you have the billing information. So that shows when selected here on this screen, and I can, at the bottom right there, click Update. And that makes all these changes that we've edited available for me. I can then review my order and scroll down to the bottom, and when I'm ready, I click Place Order. So that would be the simplest solution when I want to edit an automatic order. Once I click that button, it's going to process, and this is the flash page that comes up, and you'll see the progress menu bar that goes along as your order is being updated. Then you'll get a green bar that says, "Thank you. Your order has been submitted. You will receive an email containing your order information." And all of the important things to confirm are before you. So that is a great thing. The next part is to go back to the My Orders and confirm the modified date and the next generation date. So here we have my downline orders, and I'm going to confirm two things. The modified date there on the bottom left, January 3rd of 2019 in this scenario, and the next generation date in this scenario is in March. So the automatic order type is the what we call an MA, the order type for Mannatech automatic order. So MA order type. It's all there at the bottom of the screen for you. Okay, we can also think about helping our downline. So let's get into that a little bit. My downline orders, we're actually managing someone's automatic order template here. We can search by account number, we can search by name. That's probably the simplest way to search. If you know the account number, it's fast, but name pulls up very quickly as well. So once I've found the account in question, the order number of the template in question, I'm going to go through this process that we've done with verifying some important information to get into the order template, and we'll see a confirmation that this automatic order has been added to your Manage My Orders page. So I can go in and manage several auto orders if I want to take care of my 2 kids and my wife, or whatever the case may be. Say maybe it's some of your downline, my mother, my father, my brother, etc. So here we have the View the Template page. and we click on My Downline Orders, and we click on Automatic Order. And that is what that screen shows here. You're going to have the two options. My Orders, that's whenever I'm updating my automatic order template. To the right in that green box, you have the bar that says My Downline Orders. And when we click that, now the templates that I have that I'm managing are going to show there at the bottom of the screen. And if you have multiples, you may have to scroll through several pages. So we have a previous and next page button there at the very bottom. So I've seen people manage several automatic order templates. So that does happen, and that's why that's there. So that's the view the template, okay? Now, let's talk about eligibility. When it comes to managing someone's order, first things first, if the downline is a preferred customer, you have to be the enroller. And, you know, customer placement with Mannatech is very simple. The enroller and the sponsor are absolutely the same. It can't be different. So if I am the enroller of someone that is a customer, I'm also their sponsor by default. So my customers have me as their enroller and sponsor. So if I'm doing a downline managing of an auto order for a customer, then I have to be their enroller. Pretty straightforward. The other rule, only upline associate and the account holder. So those are the two options that I have available with Mannatech to manage an auto order. If someone else is managing the order, please have the person removed from the manager. Then you will be able to add to the new order manager. That's where we have too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. Okay, so that's eligibility. At times it becomes important to do some canceling. So we have a trash can icon here. I'll show it there on the screen. That's a way to delete something. Okay, you open the template, you verify, and you can click cancel the order. So here on the bottom right in that red, you see the delete. It looks like a trash can. And so that's how we would cancel. Okay, so these are the things that I was asked by the Australia office to cover, Sharon. And so without